Hi, beautiful people. Happy Monday. I'm just going to be moving on to talk about emotional intelligence. And to the last video was talking about the concepts of emotional intelligence and how we can, and the benefits of them. And the first concept, the component of emotional intelligence, is self-awareness. And self-awareness is a very interesting thing. Basically, we can develop, we can learn. The EQ is something that, we can learn, is a skill that we can learn and increase the benefits of this skill throughout our lifetime. It's the emotional awareness basically is the ability to recognize your own emotions and how they affect your thoughts and behaviors, moods and actions, right? You know your strengths and weaknesses and have self-confidence and self-compassion and love, right? This is kind of the core behind awareness of your emotions. And it's a component of emotional intelligence, which, for us who are in the healing game, it's really, you cannot, the mind, body, spirit, emotional components cannot be separated from the whole, right? From the holistic healing. And so emotions play a huge role in our safety, in the feeling of safety in our body, the feeling of safety or the perception of safety with others. It affects all areas of our lives, not only the physical, but our relationships with other people, obviously, in schools, our experiences in schools and workplaces. I talked about the benefits of it, but there's ongoing, there's many more subtle levels of benefit as well. So the side of attachment bond, which is the concept of having a emotional connection with your parents at a very early age, or your caretakers, affects the experience, the reflect, like the ability to have an emotional awareness is very much established at this age, right? So the attachment bond indicates that the current emotional experience is a reflection of your early life experiences. This is like the science of attachment now, which they've, there's lots and lots of research on that. And the attachment bond is the emotional connection formed by wordless communication between infant and caretaker or parent, right? So your ability to feel, this is really, really key, that your ability to feel is and manage your core emotions like anger, sadness, fear, joy, even excitement, like the high vibration emotions, depends very much on your former experiences, emotional experience in early life. So that's kind of like your baseline, right? So there are people who are more emotionally intelligent because their parents were more emotionally intelligent and were able to give this awareness to their children, right? But there are unfortunately a lot of us who were not given these gifts as children. So then we learn basically that emotions are kind of scary and not safe, and creating the sense of creating a deep sense of insecurity and non-safety in the body and safety in the body, as we these emotions ride us rather than we riding them, right? So it's really, really vital that we see that our baseline was developed by our families, but we can do a lot of things and we can take this into our hands. Emotional intelligence is something that can be learned at any time, and it's a really, really beautiful skill set, like that you can actually start to really take on and see the benefits over a period of time. And this was a very, very important part of my healing journey from chronic pain and chronic illness or diseases, including fibromyalgia and all sorts of other things, diagnoses that I had been given, and is a massive component of my healing, of the Wisdom of Pain healing process as well. We spend a whole month on this and learning the basics of emotional awareness and regulating tools so that we can actually start to ride the emotional wave rather than it ride us. And to tell you the truth, my emotions were the scariest thing ever. I hated having strong emotions. I hated being, I was always told I was too sensitive and too emotional. And so I had coded them as negative. And I think most of us have a negative connotation towards our emotions. So I'm going to try and show you in this video that it's not, that it's, how to kind of reset that and reframe it, because as soon as we start to reframe our emotions, they become our allies rather than our enemies. And this is really, really key to creating safety in our body, which then, of course, affects our physical health, emotional relationships, with other people, and success basically in our life. Success being whatever that is that you feel successful at, whatever that means for you, that word, right? So most of it are sort that emotions, and I'm not going to go into too much detail here because I have many videos on mastering your emotions. I did a whole series of mastering your emotions, like 5 episodes, and also I have lots of tools too. So I'm going to try and keep this brief, but just the kind of concepts to bring in, and obviously tools to start generating emotional awareness. So most of us we avoid our emotions throughout our lives. So, they're coded as scary. Our caretakers or parents never gave us the tools. And so we don't actually are unable to actually know how to feel them, ride the emotion. So avoiding emotions unfortunately comes at a high cost to self and your health, your relationships with others, and also your success in life in general, because your also vital energies, our negative emotions also lock in and down, are also locked in with our vital energies. So the more that we block our emotions in and down, the more first of it gets lodged in our bodies, and it creates havoc in all sorts of areas of our health. But also our vital energies, or our positive emotions that we would want to be able to have, like joy, bliss, excitement, are literally our blood plugged in as well, plugged down, right? So the vital energy, the energy flow, is pushed in because energy, emotion is energy in motion, right? So literally we are blocking all our vital energies by blocking our emotions. So emotions are very, very helpful for tuning into connecting with our passion and purpose for this reason, because our purpose and passion is the reason why we're on this planet. The purpose of our life, the meaning of our life, the contribution to self and others is our kind of purpose and mission on this planet, right? So our emotions help us to connect to that and tune into our intentions and our actions, and make fundamental and important informed decisions about what matters most to us, right? And everyone, as we are, and as we know, in this collective whole, is a unique perspective, a unique viewpoint, a unique soul on this planet. So that's when we're blocking, we literally block our ability to find our purpose, also by blocking our emotions. And so if you haven't been told today or ever, your emotions matter. Your emotions really matter, and they matter more than ever, because we're in a turning point in this planet, on this beautiful planet Earth, Mother Earth, and we need to tap into our emotions so that we can actually navigate these very difficult waters that we're about to sail through. So I wanted you to start to realize that your emotions, and again, I wasn't like this. I was so against my emotions. Against in the sense that I was so terrified of them, basically. And through my healing process, I was able to navigate, to just start to warm up to them. And now I truly believe, and I truly see through practices, through awareness practices, I've really started to see the value in the emotions, in our emotions. And so they are actually an invaluable asset to navigate this game of life that we're in. And they're inseparable from the physical, mental, and spiritual health. We cannot have all components of health in place without emotional awareness or emotional intelligence, right? Emotional awareness is one aspect of emotional intelligence, right? So not just to get that confused, but we can sometimes, interchange those words. Emotions have social purpose, obviously, as well, which is again something that we kind of miss sometimes. They have a social purpose in the sense that we can tune into and empathize with others, which is really important for our social connection. And recognizing subtle cues like body language and various other non-verbal communication forms and social emotions have a function. So we have to kind of realize that they're not just a frustrating or frustration. They always have a function in general. And if we can tune into that function, then we can actually start to really see and navigate easier our life, basically. So learning how to connect to your emotions at a fundamental level, having the moment-to-moment connection with your change in emotional experience is key to understanding how emotions influence your thoughts, actions at any one time. Emotions, we've been told that we have been run by the brain and the thoughts. The thoughts create an emotion. The emotion also creates thoughts. So the interconnection between those two things are really, really key, right? So, and the Heart Math Institute has shown that we have neurons in our heart. So we actually have the emotions can directly, they ascend from the heart brain. They ascend to the brain, and the brain is is kind of like the then distributes it to the rest of the body. So there is an undividable, you can't break that link. And so, we have to be really aware that our emotions are guiding our thoughts, and our thoughts are guiding our actions, and vice versa, introverted, right? So it's a feedback loop, and you can't break that by mind-body emotional connection, right? So vital. I'm hoping I'm drilling in this information, this message right now, how important emotions are in our life. They are also the barometer of our internal weather. So we can see them like we are, how, like, just as a, storm comes in, we see it coming in. We might get a bit annoyed about it, but we're not going to take it too seriously, a storm, right? We have to, we can start to create a distance between our thoughts and our emotions, that they are not us. We are the witnesser of the thoughts and emotions that are coming in, and that helps really to navigate, because you don't get so wrapped up in the emotional storm that's coming in. And we can start to learn actually how to ride by using soothing and regulating tools, riding these these waves, or turmoiled waters, the internal turmoil. We can start riding them rather than being again taken aback by them, or totally disabled by them, right? Which is, I tell you, I was totally disabled by my emotions. So mindfulness is the practice of focusing your attention on the present moment without judgment. This is just a really simple tool to actually build the sense of your emotional awareness. So building mindfulness tools, and there are many. If you put mindfulness tools on in Google, or I have lots of videos as well on mindfulness tools, but it's basically on the practice of creating awareness, focusing on the attention, on your attention. Where your attention goes, your energy flows, as I said in the previous video, and breaking the preoccupation with thoughts and learning to be compassionate and accepting. These are two very important skills to happiness as well. So creating a sense of compassion in your body for your emotions, rather than just ignoring, avoiding all these emotions and then having the roller coaster ride. And to tell you the truth, the roller coaster ride, once you start to see it as a ride and see it as an opportunity, see it as all these things, that the barometer, the internal guidance system, that our emotions are showing us our passion and purpose, all these things, and you can start to ride it in a completely different way, right? So it depends on how you look at them. So some of the mindfulness tools, for I can just give you a few now, but I just I will be doing a mindfulness, emotional intelligence toolbox, so you can have them all together. So anybody who's interested in that, DM me to get the link. So for example, like, if we don't start to take responsibility of our emotions, learn how to actually become aware of them, then our body is always in fight, flight, freeze when we have an emotional experience. And because emotional experiences happen a lot of times throughout the day, this creates a lot of internal stress. So the internal stress is, we all know the effect of stress on our body, but a lot of this stress actually comes from the internal environment, right? So if we can start to kind of bring in this friendship feeling towards our emotions, it prevents that stressful experience from stressing our body, right? And aging us, or feeling, creating psychosomatic, mind-body syndrome, disorders, diseases, pain, chronic pain, all these things, right? So it's really, really important. And simple tools are things like breathing techniques, coherence breathing, focusing on your senses is a beautiful way of just bringing. I have loads of videos on this. I can link some of them to it. Havening, tapping, sensory orientation skills, meditation, all these things are really beautiful ways to build a sense of awareness. And also the soothing tools, which I'm going to get into a bit more tomorrow. So, which is the next point, or the second part of emotional intelligence, is the ability to be able to regulate our emotions. So the first component is the awareness of the emotions, that we are not our emotions, and yet we are able to have them safely, without judgment, and creating a sense of acceptance and even compassion for them. So I'll share with you a very, very simple tool, that just how I started, that really helps to build this emotional awareness, just from a moment-to-moment point of view, right? So being able to connect to your sense of emotions. Like I said, emotions are energy in motion. So if we can start to just notice where they are in our body, you can start to actually just create a sense, like a map, basically. Once you have a map, then you're much more able to kind of navigate these very turmoiled waters, right? Or internal turmoil, right? So validate, what's the three things: validate, calibrate, and breathe. Those are the three components of starting to just feel your internal emotions at any one given moment. And you don't have to do the whole thing. You don't have to ride the whole motion, like whole wave of terror or fear or whatever it is, but you can take little chunks, right? You can say, I'm going to start to just I want to just start to tune in now. And I'm telling you, I started this for about 4 or 5 years ago. And it's totally changed my life. And it's changing the lives of my clients as well. Just these simple techniques and abilities to reframe emotions and start to build the skill, because it's something we can learn. Validate, so by being just saying, and calibrating. Validating, calibrating go together. Validate, just saying, I am feeling a 6 out, calibrate, 6 out of 10 angry right now, right? And there are 3 core emotions. I have a video on that, but I will go in that a bit tomorrow as well. 3 core emotions: fear, anger, and sadness. You can always know which one you're at, and they're an internal guidance system to tell you that you're kind of missing, you're having a false belief or a limiting belief, or your thinking is kind of skewed. So it's a really beautiful kind of map, those 3. Validate, calibrate, and breathe. So once you validate, I'm feeling, and calibrate 6 out of 10 angry right now, that alone helps our body and our nervous system to settle down, right? So just saying that and being in the kind of like the presence of your emotions, having an awareness, having a mindfulness for your emotions is really, really the starting point, right? So it's the 101. It's the basics for building emotional intelligence. And then breathe. So while you're, instead of holding it in and down, which most of the time we contract and we hold in the emotion because we really feel like it's like terrifying or scary or totally debilitating, like sadness. So breathing just allows the moving, and we give the intention to move up and out. So we just give the intention, since away, it is a vibration, it is a resonance, everything functions, everything's functioning on resonance and in vibration. So emotion, just allow it, just giving it like an up and out experience, intention, where our energy, where our attention goes, our energy flows. So you can just do it with an intention, and it just helps it to just alleviate, right? Without judgment. So this is critical as well, having an awareness without judgment. So reframing your emotions, being aware that I am safe, and reminding yourself, I am safe to feel, I'm safe to have my emotions. That was a huge thing for me at the beginning, because I was always told I was too this or too that, or too emotional, too sensitive. So that was and I felt really, like most of us, feel really unsafe. So try this: validate, calibrate, and breathe. Again, I have some very, very mastering your emotions course on YouTube. Check them out, I'll link them in below. And just start somewhere, start anywhere, reframing your emotions, but remember the holistic habits that heal. We are the product of our physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual habits, whether we like it or not. So we have to start to tie in, bring in, okay, so until now, my emotional habit was 0. Like, I don't have any emotional tool. And now I can start to build my toolbox. Which tool do I want to put in there? I'm going to go into tools tomorrow. Emotional soothing and emotional regulating tools. I'm not going to go into the detail, because again, I have many, many videos of them, but I just want to share with you what are the possibilities, right? What can I do to gain emotional intelligence and to benefit my life in all areas of my life, right? So it's really, really a powerful tool, emotional intelligence, and it's a skill, it's a muscle that we build, right? So going to the gym, practice, practice, practice. So I love you and leave you, and I'll speak to you. I'll send another video out tomorrow. Lots of love.